The Y chromosome, a tiny genetic package present in biological males, plays a pivotal role in sex determination and has long been a cornerstone of human biological and societal understanding. While often associated with masculinity and its phenotypic expressions, scientific discourse has increasingly explored the fascinating, albeit slow and theoretical, prospect of its gradual decline. This discussion delves into the multifaceted implications of such a shift, exploring its potential impact on the human species, gender identity, and the very fabric of societal structures. The Y chromosome, significantly smaller than its X counterpart, carries far fewer genes. Its most crucial component is the SRY, sex-determining region Y gene, which triggers the development of male characteristics in an embryo. However, unlike other chromosomes that undergo recombination, swapping genetic material during meiosis, the Y chromosome largely does not, making it prone to accumulating mutations and genetic degradation over vast evolutionary timescales. Scientists have observed a continuous loss of genes from the Y chromosome over millions of years, leading to hypotheses about its eventual disappearance. While this process is incredibly slow, estimated to take several million more years, it prompts profound questions about the long-term future of human reproduction and the biological basis of sex. It's crucial to clarify that this is a theoretical long-term evolutionary process, not an immediate threat to humanity. Should the Y chromosome indeed decline to the point of functional extinction, the most immediate and profound impact would be on human reproduction and the biological definition of sex. Without the SRY gene, humans would need to evolve alternative mechanisms for determining biological sex. Other species, like some rodents, have already lost their SRY gene and developed new sex-determining pathways, e.g. via other genes on different chromosomes or environmental factors. This could lead to the evolution of a new master switch gene on an autosome, or even the X chromosome could potentially take over SRY's role. Sex may become polygenic, determined by multiple genes acting together, leading to a broader spectrum of biological sex expressions. Though less likely in mammals, environmental cues like temperature could in theory influence sex determination pathways. A transition period could introduce reproductive challenges. For example, if a new sex-determining gene emerged, there might be a phase of reduced fertility or changes in the sex ratio until the new system stabilized. Over long evolutionary periods, however, humanity has consistently demonstrated remarkable adaptability, and it's plausible that viable reproductive strategies would emerge. This might involve assisted reproductive technologies, ART. Advanced reproductive technologies could play an even more critical role in ensuring species survival, potentially bypassing natural sex determination entirely. Genetic engineering, future genetic interventions might be developed to create biological males or females, or even new sexes, if deemed necessary or desirable. Parthenogenesis or unisex reproduction. While highly speculative for humans, in some species, the absence of a distinct male-determining chromosome has led to unisex or asexual reproductive strategies. The decline of the Y chromosome would inherently decouple biological sex from its current primary genetic basis, forcing a profound re-evaluation of gender identity. For societies that often conflate biological sex based on chromosomes with gender as a social construct, this shift would necessitate a clearer distinction. Gender identity would likely be even more clearly conceptualized as a social and personal construct. A biological spectrum of sex characteristics could further reinforce and normalize fluid and non-binary gender identities, making societal notions of gender roles and expressions more expansive and inclusive. The very concepts of male and female as rigid biological categories might evolve, leading to new linguistic and social frameworks that move beyond a strict binary. It's important to remember that gender identity is deeply rooted in cultural, historical, and individual experiences. The biological shift would catalyze reflection but not determine individual identity. The societal implications of a Y chromosome decline are perhaps the most far-reaching, touching upon family, relationships, power dynamics, and cultural norms. The shift could accelerate the acceptance and normalization of diverse family structures, such as single-parent households, same-sex parentage, and chosen families, as biological sex roles become less prescriptive. Parental roles might become even more degendered, focusing on nurturing, caregiving, and shared responsibilities rather than biologically ascribed roles. Concepts of patrilineal and matrilineal descent might blur or lose their traditional significance, paving the way for new ways of understanding family history and belonging. Human relationships, including romantic, platonic, and community bonds, would evolve in profound ways. If biological sex becomes more fluid, relationships would naturally move beyond heteronormative frameworks, valuing connection and compatibility above traditional pairings. Intimacy, companionship, and partnership could be redefined, emphasizing emotional and intellectual connection over purely biological or procreative functions. Communities might coalesce around shared interests, values, and identities independent of biological sex, fostering a more inclusive, interconnected society. Historically, many societal hierarchies and power structures have been built upon biological sex differences and their associated gender roles. The decline of the Y chromosome could significantly undermine the biological justifications often used to uphold patriarchal systems. If biological male as a category becomes less distinct or even disappears, the historical basis for male dominance would weaken. This shift could accelerate the movement towards true gender equity, where opportunities, responsibilities, and leadership are distributed based on merit, skill, and individual potential rather than assigned sex. While old hierarchies might crumble, societies would need to be vigilant against the emergence of new forms of discrimination based on new biological or social distinctions that might arise. Culture and language are deeply intertwined with human biological and social realities. Gendered language, pronouns, and titles might undergo significant transformation, moving towards more neutral or inclusive forms. Creative expressions would reflect these changes, exploring new narratives, characters, and themes that challenge existing gender paradigms. Birth rituals, coming-of-age ceremonies, and other cultural practices, often tied to specific genders, would likely evolve to reflect the changing biological and social landscape. The theoretical decline of the Y chromosome is a thought experiment of immense biological, social, and cultural magnitude. While the scientific consensus points to this being an incredibly distant evolutionary process, it serves as a powerful lens through which to examine humanity's adaptability, the constructed nature of many societal norms, and the ongoing evolution of identity. Such a future, while speculative, highlights humanity's capacity for profound transformation. It would necessitate a society less defined by traditional biological binaries and more by the rich tapestry of individual identities, shared humanity, and collective resilience. The conversations we have today about gender identity, social equity, and reproductive innovation are, in a sense, preparatory dialogues for navigating such a complex and exciting evolutionary path.